subject includes introducing to you the advances in security tools and platform-specific defenses, right? So, for example, we teach you the VPN, we teach you SSH, we teach you the encryption techniques, right? So you can roughly know how to deploy. That is the reason why marks is awarded for you to complete the lab, right? So because we have the security best practices. Now, if we look at the CLO here, right, perceived network-related attacks, which we mentioned the role of firewall, analyze the concept of computer crime. This one is more of a lecture, right? Investigate the security at the application layer, right? We did some lab on this, the lab 1 and lab 2, where we have user to user, which is application based, right? And then user to network, and then the operating system, how you use Linux to secure file system. Evaluate how cryptography is applied. We did this in detail. In fact, we award you 3 marks in this lab, right? So, and if you take a look at the lab, right, we complete the crypto analysis, we complete the file system and permission and access control, the Unix system. We complete the malware, where we introduce to you the different antivirus, and also how to dodge suspected emails, how a powerful firewall is, right? What is the role of sandboxing? What is the role of dodging, right? People monitoring your password using, even if keylogger also is difficult to log what your password is, right? Remember? So we teach you in the lab 3 and lab 4. We actually explain to you in detail what is the role of how to configure a secure your own network, right? Your own network. How to configure your syslog, SSH, and firewall. And then in lab 5, we teach you how to secure network-to-network security using the VPN, right? And also the ACL, right? And this is lab 6. Lab 6 is about digital forensic. Now, this is a very interesting lab. Why? Because some of the times when we found that our file is corrupted, we don't know how to repair the files. We just say, oh, never mind, redo the files. And this is the time when we teach you how to recover the files using intuitive way, I would say. Intuitive. Why? It depends on whether your interest is there or not, because everything will tell you what is wrong with your file. But you need to be curious in how to solve or recover the files. If you're not curious, right, you do not think logically, you will take some time to complete the digital forensic part, right? So that would be all the 6 lab, right? All the 6 lab that we have, and so let's start with the lab 6, right? Lab 6 is, as we say, digital forensic, where we do file recovery using WinHacks. Everyone install the software already? Qiang Xuefeng, install software already? Right? A lot of people gave up the 2.5 marks, but 2.5 marks is meaning 5 marks in final, right? 2.5 is times 2 in final, right? So 5 marks in final, actually a lot. It means 1 grade, right? 1 grade different. Huh? If you get A, you'll get A minus. Okay. So today 5 marks, why people don't attend class? You see only. How about Lee Yu Xiang? Am I lagging or is student lagging? Oh, is it? But is it? I don't think so. But I think it's the student lagging. How about others? Look Jun Leong. Zhen Wei. Oh, I don't think my one is lagging. Maybe just now I put something on top of my router. So it is giving up noise. Okay, can we start? So yeah, so lab 6 is quite simple actually. Maybe only half an hour, huh? But you need to, as I said, you need to be curious how to solve the files. For example, right? So have you, please open your WinHex, right? Now, if you see your WinHex, you put it in a folder, right? And you have the WinHex here, which is the application, right? And you cannot double click and open it, right? Because if you double click and open it, you are not in, I don't know, because my computer is Windows 7. So if I want to open applications for as a administrator, I have to right click and run as administrator. Then only I can do some of the assessment. Huh? But if you are Windows 10, I don't know, you need to right click or not, because Windows 7 and above, when you want to run some software as administrator, you need to right click and run it as administrator. So for me, I need to right click and run as administrator, right? Then only I can see some of the functions, right? If not, I won't be able to use some of the functions. That is Windows 7 and above, right? If you are using Windows XP, I think you do not need. Right? So it depends on your Windows. Huh? Okay, so if you have WinHex and you realize that WinHex is a tool for analysis, right? If you take a look, WinHex is a tool for digital forensics, and it is used to read and directly edit hard disks. You can copy hard disks. You can clone your image drive. You can recover data. You can encrypt files. You can create hash and checksum. Why you want to create hash? Remember the concept of hash. It is to check whether the file you receive is actually not a virus file or authentic file from your friend. Now, how do you check? If your file is authentic, right? Let's say your hash, right? Okay. So if you take a look at hashing, right? The concept of hashing, I hope all of you already know the concept of hashing. Right, the concept of hashing. If I hash a file and the file gives me A, B, C, D, right? Some other words are usually longer than that. Huh? Okay. And this is the file hash. Okay. Right? And so there's a file. The concept of hashing, there's a file, right? There's a file, this file. So after you hash this file, you have this code, right? ABCDXXX, for example. And then you send this file to your friend. You send this file to your friend. So your friend receives it. Your friend receives it. You send to your friend. And then your friend receives it, right? So your friend, very happy, right? Receives it. Right? Your friend receives this file. And before he starts to open it, he investigated. He wants to check whether the file is original or the file, during the process of sending, somebody intercept. The meaning of intercept. Somebody block the file, right? Intercept. Somebody block the file and change the green file to the blue file. And send to you, right? And send to you. So this is your friend, right? With the green file. Right? And this is you with the blue file because somebody intercept, right? So you have the blue file, you think, oh, this is original, this is authentic, this is the file that my friend sent to me, and you double click and you can have virus in your computer. But if you are careful, you can actually complete the hashing for this file. So if you complete the hashing for this file, right? If you do a hashing for this file, right? If you do a hashing for this file, you will find that the hashing number is different. For example, the hashing number will be different, right? The hashing number will be different. And when you want to check the authenticity of, how you check the authenticity of the file is when you compare the hashing number of this and you compare the hashing number of this, the file that is hashing. The file that is hashing, you compare, right? You compare these two. If it match, if it's match, right? If it's match, then same file. If it does not match, it's different file. Right? This is the concept of hashing. It's not, you don't check it based on decoding or encoding or based on encryption or decryption. Hashing is a totally different way from encryption and decryption, right? The exact file that you have, you hash it, you have a number, and there's the file that you receive, you hash it, you have a number. If you compare both numbers, if it's the same, it's the same file. If it's not the same, it's a different file. So every time you found that these days, even people offering software in the internet, it usually comes with the hash code. Why? Because they are afraid that you will download some software that is not supposed, that is infected with adware, infected with worm, infected with virus. So they always try to hash it and provide the hash number so that when you download the file, if you hash the file that you download, you compare these two numbers. And if it's the same, means this is the original file from the provider, right? There are many people who have completed this, especially for IAIB students. When you develop software next time, you should hash your file and try to provide some form of security to your users. This is very important, the concept of hashing, right? And then you can, of course, wipe out the drives. Don't simply do this. Okay. Now, how can you do this, right? For example, you can read logical or physical drives, right? You can use double-click way to read the files, or you can use the physical way to read the files. For example, right? Now I want to go to the tools and I want to open disk, right? So I can use here, right? I open a disk, and you can see if you open a disk, the first thing you see is EB52904E5446532, right? As what we indicate here, right? So this is the first 16 values starting from the first address location. Now, why we show you this? Sometimes when your file or when your folder is corrupted, some of these numbers will be corrupted as well. So that when this happens, right, you need to recover back. Actually, what does the recovery program does is repair this track, repair this section, or repair this partition, right? So that you can read back the files. And WinHex allows you to actually recover the files, because it can actually allow you to enter the code back, right? As what some of the software is doing. It's trying to recover back the header. Header is very important for a file, right? So when you use physical address, the first 16-byte value will be, right, 33660. This is standard, right? With when you use the physical access, because this is the header, right? And then at the bottom here, if you start to see the 33C0BF, this is the start of the physical address. Okay, like this CC33C0BF, that's what indicate here. Right? Oh no, 33C08EDOBC. You should find this one, not that one. Okay. So there are a lot of same one, right? And notice that the values start at memory location offset after you have 0. That means all these after you have 0. After you have 0. Oh, very difficult to see, right? But you need automation to see it. You need to do a software to see it. So many words. Or you can use here to search and to find, right? To find the hex values. For example, you can find the hex value 33 what? C08E. 33C08E, right? Okay, right? So I can find here, right? 33C08EDO. Okay, this is the start of the. Okay, so this is the start of the. This is the start of the physical address, right? So that would be all for the recovery of your hard disk. Make sure this partition, usually people recover this partition or this track or this section. Okay. And then we go back to data analysis, because this is where the core of today's lab session. The core of today's lab session. Now, if you see just now when I mentioned, right, when Dr. Lam mentioned, right, the start of the start of the, that's when all the 0, and then you start your hard disk, right? Okay. Oh yeah, it's taking forever, right? Never mind. So I will close it, right? So if you just now you notice, right, when we see the first 16 values starting from the first address location, this is what we call header, right? Every file has every file indicates different header. That is the reason why you can open certain files because of the file header, right? For example, how you know, right? For example, now I have my UCCN here. I have my PNG. How I know this is a PNG file? By looking at the file header, right? PNG file is /x89 PNG, right? Now, if I open, right? If I file open, right? If I go to my right. So if I open any PNG, right? For example, if I open any PNG, right? You see, the starting is 89504E. Huh? And you can see the header here indicates the PNG, right? 89 PNG, right? So you see the 89 PNG, 89 PNG, right? This P is 50 is P, 4E is N, 47 is G. So 89 P and G, right? Okay. So this meaning, if I read the file header, I know this is the PNG file. Now the /x in front, right? The /x in front. The /x in front is to indicate that this is just to indicate it is a hex code. Hex code, right? Not a decimal, right? This is a hex code, not a decimal. So /x89, and then you have PNG. This PNG is a decimal. This PNG is a decimal. So if I have PNG, right? Then I have PNG. This PNG is a decimal. This PNG is read by itself. It's not a hex. If a hex, P is equivalent to, okay, P is equivalent to, just now, 50, right? Is equivalent to 50, right? You see here just now, this P is equals to 50, 4E47, 4E47. This is 4E47, right? This is 4E, this is 47, right? So when we have, for example, just now we have the PNG files, right? The PNG files header. How do we know the PNG files header? We read here, right? The document here /89 PNG. That means the 89 is read as hex code. And then we have the PNG, right? Okay. So if you look at the hex here, you have 89 PNG, right? Okay. Same, if you go to see other file header, for example, bitmap. Bitmap is BM, and then something 00 dot 00 something. right? So if we take a look at, okay, I can change, I can file save as a bitmap, right? Either 16 color, 24 bit is the same, right? So I save the file as bitmap test, right? So if I open the file again, I file open, right? And I go to open a bitmap file test, right? So it will start BM, right? BM here, right? See here, the indicator here, bitmap is must start with BM. And then I don't care what is it. And then you have your stroke X 00 dot, this one is hex 00 and then hex 00, right? So if you take a look at the win hex here, you have the zero, or so many zero, you don't know which is zero, right? Anyway, you have the 00, then only you start the information. Then only you start the information. The key point is this BM here must start with the BM, okay? And for example, you have the JPEG, the JPEG. So if I save this file, save as JPEG, for example, right? So now I open the file, JPEG file, open. I have the test.jpg, right? And you will notice that here, right? And you will notice that the JPEG have the hex code FFD8FF, right? FFD8FF. This is the header of the JPEG file, right? So usually people wants to corrupt the file. They first, if I'm a virus, if I make virus, usually the first thing I make is to corrupt the header so that the computer don't know what kind of file is it. So obviously the first thing you do is to repair the header, right? For example, how do I repair the header? For example, now this is the file that I have, or this was the file that I have, right? So I save as another one. Now I save as PNG, right? So okay, so now I don't care whether my test.jpg is corrupted or not, right? So for example, if I want to corrupt a file, if I want to corrupt a file, let's say I want to corrupt a JPEG file, I can change this. FF become FE, D become A, right? And then I save it, right? I save it. So you will notice that the test JPG now FEA8FF, FEA8FF, right? If I close this file, and if I go back to my test, right? If I go back to my test, my JPEG file, if I double open it, it says photo gallery can't open this photo or video. The file may be unsupported, damaged, or corrupted. Why? Because I changed the file header, right? I changed the file header. So now, not even photo gallery, right? If I open this file, I open with Paint, also cannot open, right? So if I open with another software, right? Maybe a photo viewer, also cannot. So because the file, the test.jpg JPEG, right? The test.jpg is corrupted, right? So how do we recover the files? Same, we go back to file open, right? And we open back the test JPEG, right? Open. We can recover back the header. We recover back the header FF D8 FF, right? So we save back the file JPEG. Yes, we save back the file. We close, right? And then we go back to the folder here. Now, if I double click the test, I can open the file, right? No problem, right? Clear? So you can actually open the file open with Paint, right? No problem. Remember just now, the header was corrupted, so we cannot open. Now we can open, right? So, so therefore, the header information is very important for the hacker to corrupt. So if you want to repair back your files or recover back your files, the first thing you need to see is the header, right? Now I just show you the JPEG. Actually, all this is the same. If it's a GIF, you have three choices, whether it's the 474946 or 383761 or 383961. Or in short, whether it's GIF or whether it's 87A or 879 in text. For example, bitmap start with BM, wave audio start with wave FMT, flash video zip start with PK0304. For example, now I have this file here just now, right? I have the test file and I zip the file. I put test.zip. Okay, I have a zip file. So if I check my zip file, right? If I check my zip file, right? File open, right? I go and check my zip file. You will see that it will start, right? Zip file, you have a PK 0304 or PK 00 or PK 0506. Right? So you see, so this is not a hex, PK, right? So you have PK, then 0304. Remember? So you see PK 0304. Okay. So if your zip file, okay, explanation. For example, this is PNG files. For example, now I want to do zip files. Header, right? Zip files header, right? The header information is PK, right? So PK, and then 03, okay, 03 and 04. So PK is a text, 03 and 04, right? So if you take a look at your here, PK 0304 or PK 00 or PK 0506. Any option here is either a zip file, a jar file, or a XPS file, right? Zip file, jar file, this is jar file, or the XPS file, right? So these are zip archive, okay? So if you take a look, if I see, right, this is a zip file, so I can double click or I can right click and I unzip it. When a zip file is corrupted, how do? I repair the PK0304. So for example, now this file is corrupted. Instead of 504B, so now it's 3, right? And this is 4, right? So I save it, right? The test zip. So you will notice that my file here, even though it shows is a zip file, right? I can extract to test. You see, cannot open the file as zip archive. It is not an archive. You cannot unzip because it is not able to read that the file is a zip file because it is corrupted. So what I need to do is I need to go back and open my zip file, assuming you receive a corrupted file, right? I go to a zip file, I go to WinZip, I repair back the file to zip file PK0304. So I need to repair here, right? This is PK, right? 0304. Okay. I need to repair here PK. I don't know what number it is, so I don't change here. I change here PK, right? And then 0304. Okay. If I save it, right? Now if I go back to my folder, right? If I go back to my folder, I can actually unzip the file. No problem, right? I can unzip the file and extract to test. Right, now I have this, right? So I can open up the file, right? Okay, clear? So we can always repair the file, whether we repair the number here or we repair the text here, no problem. But we must follow the header here, the header here. Now you will say, sometimes I also don't know the file. Sometimes BM not there. How I know what file is it? There is another way to make analysis. Other than the file header which you can analyze, you can also analyze the pattern, right? You can also use the tools and analyze the pattern, right? For example, so if we go back here, right? Just now we have a test zip, right? And if we go to tools, analyze the files, right? This one is too big. You find that this file is test BMP, right? So BMP, right? You have the bitmap, you have a true color, or this is true color bitmap. You have a very nice curve like this. If it's a JPEG, so for example, if I open a JPEG, tools, analyze. Why always analyze this? Right? Tools, file, open. I want to analyze JPEG, right? So tools, analyze JPEG. So this is JPEG file, right? This is JPEG file, very sharp, right? Widely distribute, right? So RGB, true color bitmap, you have very smooth, right? And then you have audio file, you have this fashion, right? And then normal compressed data. Just now we only compress one, right? So if we have a very heavy, for example, just now we have the WinHex, right? We have the WinHex. So if we open file, open, right? If we open the Lab6 kit, for example, okay. If we open the Lab6 kit and then tools, we analyze file, we can see this is a zip file because it's very compact. That's why it's zip. Zip is to reduce the number of partition that we need, the number of storage we need. So it's all compressed. So this is the format of the zip file, you see. Normal compressed zip file. So if it's an executable file, for example, we can open the executable file, open, executable, for example, executable, executable. We can go to WinHex, but WinHex is, we can go to CGWin. Right, right, we can go to open the file, right? So, oh, we cannot. Some of the file is protected. So, you can open up some applications file you have so that you can check the executable files. Is this, right? And then text file is very extreme, right? For example, you have the text file, file open, right? The text file. Right, for example, text file. For example, the text file, for example, right? So this text file, then we can use the tool and analyze. This is text file. It's right, it's extreme, right? Text file, because text file, it depends on where you write the text. So it is it's this format, is right. So you can actually analyze, right, the different. You can use whatever your file, whatever your PC has, what kind of files is it. Please try out all these options, right? Right, then you can see the difference, right? Especially JPEG, some JPEG images. For example, if I go to open JPEG, right, file open, I go to my computer, my desktop, and then user, my pictures, right? For example, I can open some pictures, right? And then my tools, I can analyze. This is JPEG files, right? This is the format of JPEG files, for example. So you can either recover using the code because they corrupt the code, or you look at the analysis. For example, analysis shows that, oh, I assume or I predict. I'm curious. This file, what file is it? So is it a JPEG file or BMP file? Because BMP will not be this smooth. For example, if the same file, just now the same file, right? The same file. Okay. Wait. I go to the pictures. Right. The same files of this. If I open. Right, and then I file, for example, I save the file. For example, I open with a Paint, right? File save as bitmap, right? So now, for example, I have a bitmap, right? So now if I open up the files, if I file open, right? Right? If I file open, if I open this file and I analyze this file, even though it's the same file, this is a bitmap image and this is a JPEG, the same banquet file that I have. So you will see the difference. This is the bitmap and this is the JPEG. And this is the compressed file, the zip. And this is the text, right? And for example, this is the just now the BMP, or it's kind of strange because we have a lot of white components, so that's why it's like this, right? So then this is, for example, a JPEG, right? But because the file is the picture is not I would say because the picture is like this, mostly white, right? So that's why the hex code doesn't resembles, right? So this usually it will look like this, or this is the BMP JPEG, right? This is your text file. This is your compressed file. Okay, so that is the right. So that is the how we would recover, how we would use it to recover the files. For example, we open the file. We cannot, for example, right? We have a file. Assuming now I take another example file. What example? Okay, I take this day 3 banquet, which is already in the WinHex, right? Day 3 banquet BMP, right? So this file is, for example, is corrupted. It didn't say BM, now it's that PK. So instead of BM, now become PK. But then I would say, when I open this file, I say PK. Then I would assume PK. PK is usually PK0304, right? I can corrupt the file and now become PK. So if I look at my hex code here, right? If I look at my hex code here, PK3600, what file is it? Doesn't look, is it a zip file? So I would say, okay, I cannot determine whether this is a zip file or not before I repair this number, right? So I go to my tools and I analyze the file. It tells me maybe there's something wrong. This looks like bitmap file, right? This looks like BMP files, right? So what I will do is I will recover this to BM first. I will recover this to BM first. Then I save, right? Assuming this is BM, now I recover already. If I double click this file, I should be able to open, right? If I double click this file, it should be able to open. So it's able to open, so that is why, okay, maybe it's a BMP file. If this is a zip file and I double click it, it will not open because it's not the file. It's not the file. Okay, so therefore, this is how we are. The curiosity will allow you to recover the files. The curiosity, how you use the analysis function and how you use the header will allow you to recover the files. Okay, so I hope this is clear enough, right? we have used what 1 hour for it. Is it clear how to recover the files using WinHex? Right. So now the question is here in the Lab6 kit, right? In the Lab6 kit. Lab6 kit here, you have the files here. You need to recover all these files, right? Remember just now I mentioned, right, the concept about hashing. Now, okay, I close all this. The concept about hashing, right, is very important, right? For example, just now I mentioned, if the two files is the same, then after hashing, the code should be the same, right? So for example, I want to try to check test.bmp and test.jpg, right? Test.bmp and test.jpg, is it the same file, right? So you go to tools and compute the hash. And if you choose MD5, you can see this code, copy. And then you put here, this is the code, right? You paste. This is the code. This is the hash code. And then you find, right? Close. You have the test.jpg, right? You go to tools and you compute the hash. So you compute, copy. So this is the hash. You paste. You find that these two hash is not the same. So it is not the same file. For example, now I have the files in here, right? The files in here. Remember just now I have the tests, right? BMP and JPEG. So let's say I copy this, right? And I paste it here. Now I rename this as a copy. Now I name this as maybe Lao, right? I name it Lao. So I have this file name Lao, right? .jpg, right? So I would say I would check I will open my file Lao, right? And I compute the hash, right? So I compute the hash and I put here. This is the input file now. Now you see the input file. This is Lao dot JPEG. If the file is the same, even though this on top here, the file is test.jpg, this is lao.jpg, we know these two files, even with different name in JPEG, but it is the same file because it has the same hash code, right? This is lao.jpg, this is test.jpg. So whether it's the same file or not, right? Which means this and this is the same file, right? And which means this and this is not the same file, right? Understand? This is not the same file. Okay? Maybe I should use this one, right? It's not the same file. Okay? If the hash code is the same, it's the same file, even though one is lao.jpg, one is test.jpg. Okay, clear? I hope the whether the same file or not is clear. And Okay, after all we did, right? I would like to again give you some hints on Microsoft, right? Now for Microsoft files, if we open file open, right? We have many Microsoft files. So for example, let's make one Microsoft files. File open, file new, right? Blank document, create. How are you? Are you fine? Okay, save as testing. Microsoft test, right? So Microsoft test, right? And then I have the, for example, the Excel, right? So I have, for example, a new file, right? Create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Okay, then I save. This is Excel test, for example. I have two files, right? Now I open my files here. So I have, for example, I have my Microsoft test I open. So if you see Microsoft header here, you have the Microsoft header. DOCF11EO, all this is in hex. All this is in hex. DO, blah, 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 okay. DOCF, sorry, Microsoft test. Wait, it changed. This is zip file. Close, right? File open. Oh, I know why. Because right. So wait, is a zip file because I use Microsoft, right? This one. So you see, this is a Microsoft Word document. This is in zip format actually. That's why some of the earlier version you cannot. I want to do it a Microsoft file first. Save as. Okay, wait I want to check this one. Okay, let me file open. Right, okay. So now we have the Microsoft files here. The latest version, you realize is all in zip format. That's why you can only open it in Microsoft, right? You cannot open it in other software. But this older version, you can open it in any software. You can see why, because the header is standard header. So DOCF11 EO A1 B1 IA E1, right? So this is a standard Microsoft file. So if you are saving it in the DOCX, this is in PKZip file. You have to, the concept of later version of Windows is to ensure you can only open those files in Microsoft. You cannot open it in, for example, in WordPad. You cannot open it. So that is the latest protection file that they have in Microsoft. So this is different. So that's why usually when I save the file, I save it in the DOC and not DOCX. Okay. So if in the DOC file, usually a lot of software is able to open this DOC file, because the header is not a zip header. Just now, if you realize, the header is a PK0304, which is a zip, and that zip only can be opened by Microsoft. That is why it's proprietary. Okay. So you have DOCF11EO, this one, and you will see. Okay, then you ask, hey, Misa, this one is just say Microsoft Office. How do I know whether it's Word or Excel? Right? You can see, right? When you scroll down, right? You will see whether it is a Word or Excel. You see? Somehow they will tell you is a Microsoft Office Word. For example, if you want to open the Excel, right? So even though this header is the same for Microsoft, whether it's a document, or Microsoft, whether it's an Excel, you can go down and then, okay, it's a Microsoft Excel. Okay, so even though the common header, but there is a hint when you scroll down, whether it's a Word file or an Excel file. Okay, for this kind of common header files. Okay, so if it's a Windows executable, it starts with MZ dot, right? Just now we have an executable WinHex file open, right? If we have the executable, remember just now we install the WinHex, so we can use the WinHex executable, right? So is MZEC, these two MZEC. So if we know MZEC, we know that this is executable file. And also, right, if we can use the tools to analyze the file, we can know it's executable, because executable is always like this, right? So you can see the executable file here, right? Executable here. Executable is like this, the format. Either you use this as a hint for it to say that it's executable, or the MX here to show it's executable. But sometimes this is corrupted. So the other way to know whether it's executable is this one, right? Whether you know it's executable or not is this one, right? Clear? So yeah, then okay, I think that was all the hints that I can give you. Oh, outside you cannot deny, right? Right, because this is class, outside people cannot access. This is a rule. I don't know. Some more the name is Proly. I don't know who is Proly, right? So okay. So if you take a look, right? I have already explained, and now if you here is your Lab 6 assessment. For example, question 2, right? For example, question 2. Question 2 is what? So you look back here, question 2. For example, let's check. Okay, let's check question 10. Right? Are men 3, woman 1, woman 2 the same files? We say already. How to know whether it's the same file or not? Right? How do we know whether it's the same file or not? We can use hashing. So for example, are men 3, woman 1, woman 2, the same file. So we can use the hex. Okay, this is just now the sample that I have. I can close it out now. Right. Right. Now I open file open. Right. If I have the I have my Prac6 test key. So I have my files here. It's asking whether woman 1, right? Woman 1 and woman 2, right? Tools, file open, woman 1 and woman 2, and man 3, file open, man 3, right? So I have woman 1, woman 2, man 3. So what I do is, usually I will do analyze or compute the hash. So I have this hash, right? This is for man 3. So I write here my answer, right? Question 10. So I write here man 3. This is my hash, right? Hey, what did they say? You need to describe how to recover files. Okay, you need to describe lah. In this question, right? I will compute the hash and make a comparison, something, right? For example, this is man 3. For example, if this is woman, if for example this is woman, or for example this is woman 1, for example, right? Each one you compute lah, and then woman 2. For example, if woman 1 and woman 2, this one is something maybe E, F. Okay, so, okay, I see, this DB. So I say, based on this, based on the above, for example, I predict whatever woman, man 3, and woman 1 is same image, for example, something. So you need to describe and how you solve this question. Okay, student. So yeah, you have to write in detail. Don't just give something and then same in the exam. If this kind of question come up, you also need to describe how you solve the questions. Okay. Okay. So right, every question is actually very simple. Just to apply the hex as what just now I already elaborate. You just need to be curious and try out all the examples or all the hints that I gave you just now. Okay. I don't know who is what. Prof. Lee. I cannot. Okay. Tarani, is it okay? Clear? Okay. So yeah, Ng Hui-Ying, is it okay? Li Yu-Xiang, is it okay? So yeah, please continue to do if you have any questions, right? For me, I have the last hint here. Don't try the question 1 first. Question 1 is the most complicated one. Try all the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how to recover, what is the file type. This one is just now what I have shown you. Actually, I've shown you all the hints, right? Okay. Just use either the header or the analysis, right? To even this one, right? I already show you how. Okay. So all this I have already shown you how. What is the file type of man? What is the file type of man 2? Okay. So if you have any question, I'm still in here. You can try out, and if you have any question, please use your mic and call me, or use the message to call me. Okay, I'll be waiting here. Please complete it by 11 o'clock. Don't put it too late, because we need to compile the marks, and your final assessment is in week 8, Wednesday. So it's actually very fast. We need to compile the marks. Well, after you finish, right, you just submit it. No problem. It's a very easy one. My student take only half an hour yesterday to complete it. Okay, because all the hints I already provided. Okay, I will wait here, and please try as many questions as possible. And if you have any question whether I did it correctly or I did it wrongly, you can always feel free to ask. I'm always here to assist you. Even though it's marks, but I can assist you. Right? Okay. Thank you. Okay. Is Ng Hui Ying. Okay. Lok Jun Leong. Okay. Okay, please try. At least try five. Then if you are comfortable already, I will give you the attendance, and then you may do it later. But doing it later, you will tend to push it later and later. I think doing it now is the best time. Since Dr. Lau is here, anything you don't know, you can just ask me. Okay.